Hi makers, it's Charlotte with Makesy. Today I'm here with Esther, our in-house perfumer.
Hi makers.
Hi, we're going to tell you all about how to evaluate your custom fragrance today. So Esther and I have created tons of awesome educational videos on how to make your own perfumes. So check out those videos on how to make your own perfume and get familiar with the process of what that looks like. And now you're ready to learn more about how to evaluate those perfumes and how to evaluate your accords. So Esther, walk us through the first process, which is how to evaluate your accords.
Okay. Well, the first thing you do is you take each top, heart, or base individually. So there's 12 top accords. You dip them all, and we've given you a beautiful blotter holder. So you can put all 12 on there. You smell them first. You use your wonderful journal. You write your notes. Did you like that citrus green accord? Yes, no, maybe. And then a few minutes later, you go back and you reevaluate them on the blotter to see kind of how they volatilized on the blotter and see if you still like them or if you still don't like them, because sometimes our initial impressions aren't always accurate because maybe something caught us wrong. So you smell them again and then you decide, oh, I really love this, I'm going to use this. Then you do the same with all the heart notes, and you do the same with all the base notes. And then once you've decided, because you've put everything in your little journal, once you've decided all the ones you love, then you can start to play. Now, we're giving you this amazing card just to help you a little bit with playing. So we've given you the wheel, and in our wheel, we have all the accords. So if you want to work with a lot of woody notes, we give you the entire woody sphere here where we talk about all the different woody accords that we have, and you can decide which one works best for you. We've given you all the floral accords. Maybe you don't like roses, but you love jasmine. We have an amazing jasmine in here. So this will help guide you as to where everything falls and what falls together. And then in the back, we have little descriptions on all of our accords. On every single one, it'll give you just a brief synopsis on what that accord smells like. So this will help you and guide you. And then now you can get started with your experimentation.
I have a couple of tips on smelling that I've learned over the years that I want to share with you guys as well. So when you are smelling your fragrances, make sure that you're not smelling them at like totally different points of time of them sitting on the blotter. So if I dip a citrus and I smell it immediately, and I dip a rose and I smell it 30 minutes later, I'm not comparing these fragrances at the same time, and therefore I'm not really comparing apples to apples.
Correct.
So to really live out what Esther said, we suggest you smell them right away. You smell those top notes, you get the top hit of what is it gonna smell like when somebody sprays that perfume for the first time.
Right.
And then come back later, smell them 30 minutes later, and that's what they're gonna smell like, more close to what they may smell like on skin or after they've been worn for a while. I even like to sometimes come back and smell fragrances a day later.
So do I.
I want to know what they smell like after they've really dried down. And
they change.
Yeah,
they do change.
They definitely change. I've sometimes smelled fragrances and I smell it initially and I'm like, nope, not for me. And then I come back even 10 minutes later and It may smell very different. So it's really important to again compare them apples to apples, smell them at the same time, and then to live with them for a while and to really come back to them to learn what you like and what you don't like. And sometimes even something you don't like may smell really good in a perfume.
Absolutely.
So don't write anything off when you start smelling them. Well, sometimes I've smelled things that I can write off right away. But
Me too.
But typically don't write anything off right away, because you may find that something that smelled maybe way too powdery on its own is exactly what you needed to complete a floral fragrance that you've just created.
Because remember, you're only smelling them by themselves to give you a clue as to what they smell like individually. But remember, once you pair them with something else, once you pair them, it's going to be completely different. That's how you're creating your own fragrance. Top notes in a perfume traditionally last up to 15-20 minutes. The heart of a perfume normally lasts 1 to 2 hours on skin. And then your base notes sometimes can even last a day. I've had things on blotters for 2 days and I could still smell them 2 days later. So everything has a different shelf life in terms of lasting on a blotter.
Yes, absolutely. So that is a little bit on how to evaluate those accords. Now, once you've evaluated your accords and you've blended them together and you're ready to put them into a perfume, then Esther, talk us through how to evaluate your creation and how to evaluate then your final perfume.
Your final perfume. Okay, well, your creation, you can evaluate it 2 ways. You can either, your final creation, you can leave it on blotter for a while. You can smell it on blotter first and say, oh, I really like this. Let's see how it, how it ages out. Or you can actually put them a little bit in alcohol and spray them on skin. I usually make sure I put little dots on my arm so that I know where everything is.
She's walking around looking like she's got chicken pox or something.
But it's really great because smelling them on blotter is one thing, but when you smell them on your skin, it's completely different because your body chemistry is going to react with it. So I always say, once you're down to the finals and you really want to pick the one that you love, make sure you put it on skin. Live with them. Have your friends smell them. Hey, come smell my arm. Have an arm smelling party. It's fabulous. It's fun. It's interactive, and then you can hone in on really what you prefer and what you don't prefer.
And if you're looking for a quick tip on how to evaluate some of the accords together before you put them into either an alcohol or an oil, or before you even combine the oils together completely, then once you have the accords on the blotter, you can actually smell the blotters together. So if you want to evaluate our creamy Santal accord, and let's say we want to put that with the dewy rose accord and see what those two smell like together, then you can put the blotters near your nose and smell them like that to get an idea of what they'll smell like when combined. And another tip is you can actually move them closer or further away from your nose. Not an exact science, of course. No. But just to give you an idea, if you wanted to use just a little bit of rose, you may hold that further away.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
This just gives you a hint as to what you may like or what you may not like. Again, it's not an exact science, but it's fun to discover, how things smell when they're close, how things smell when they're far. So it's a fun experiment.
It's more of an art, but the science part is when you weigh them. Make sure you do that properly and use your scale. So
absolutely.
There you have it. That is how you evaluate accords and how you evaluate perfume. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our channel to stay in the know on all the latest makers tips and tricks. Now go make it happen.